Yes, live on tape. It's the Dennis Miller Show. Tonight, Tom Hanks, Bonnie Raitt, Christian Slater. And now, it's him.
You know, I am so whacked out on Prozac. Well, what do you think of the place? Welcome to the first show. Nice set, huh? Had some Amish friends over today. We had a set raising, and don't get too comfy with it, though. It's trompe l'oeil, and I'm a hologram. Let's meet our band, Andy Summers. Yeah. Andy, formerly of the Police, let go last year in the wake of the Rodney King beating, and happy to have him with us. Our announcer, the lovely one, Nick Bakay. Nick,
hello, Dennis.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You know, every day, Dennis, to me, it's like a little miracle, and I am but a handmaiden to its greatness. A man like other men, and yet somehow strangely singular.
Okay, good. Why can't you be a nice boy like Andy, huh? Well, what's new in the news? The Democrats had their debate yesterday. You know, that party is like watching a Volkswagen at a circus. You just think, God, how'd they get that many clowns in there? See, they're having an uproar about that nude painting of George Bush at the Maryland Art Gallery. You know, maybe Bush should have thought about the consequences before he posed for it. And I've seen the painting, and apparently the economy isn't the only thing sagging in this country right now. Sure, George and Babs have tuned in for the premiere. Just kidding. Well, in New Hampshire, Bush tried to drop in on some workers up there, but most of the businesses were closed down. Only thing open was U-Haul, Suicide Hotline, and Sununu's travel agent. And according to the New York Times, Upjohn, the people who make Halcyon. Do you know what Halcyon is? That's that sleeping drug. They evidently gave it to Bush after he vomited in Japan. Well, they've been accused of concealing evidence that Halcyon causes serious psychiatric side effects. Now, the chairman of Upjohn, Dr. Theodore Cooper, denied it, telling reporters, "It's like I told Enrico Caruso yesterday in the dirigible, the delicious cupcakes are safe." I haven't yet mastered that Carson/Houdini-like ability to extricate myself from the bad joke. See, there's something to be said for humbling yourself. Speaking of psychiatric side effects, Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee cannibal, he's changed his plea this week from insanity to cuckoo for neighbor puffs. See Quail golfing this week. Quail went golfing with Bob Hope and Gerald Ford at the Bob Hope Desert Classic. At one point, Quail hooked a drive into some deep jungle-like brush and then used his father's connections to avoid going in after it. Yeah, Quail deserves the vice presidency like Elvis deserved his black belt. L.A. Police Chief Daryl Gates said this week he thinks he can run for mayor of Los Angeles and win. Of course, you know, Gates thinks he can beat anybody. And finally... Great, the Doors kick in. I'm being maced on national TV. And finally, I read today that Pete Rose is now doing a radio show in Florida. Of course, Pete was recently kept out of the Baseball Hall of Fame because of his gambling conviction. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this the Baseball Hall of Fame? And isn't Pete Rose famous for what he accomplished in baseball? And isn't it about time we stop confusing people's personal lives with their professional lives before we end up with nobody in the Hall of Fame and submoronic nerds in the White House and a nation full of snoops and busybodies too busy worrying about the personal lives of their neighbors to ever beat the Japan people in anything but pie and donut consumption? Pete Rose is a world champion. Pete Rose got more hits than anybody else in the history of baseball, and Pete Rose did it all with the worst haircut in the history of the world. And he should be in the Hall of Fame. We've got a great show for you. We got Tommy Hanks, Bonnie Raitt, Christian Slater, and Andy.
This portion of the Dennis Miller Show is brought to you by Dawn Dishwashing Liquid. It takes grease out of your way.
Okay, so I have...
He looks like a host. Let's see if he can talk. What do you think of this? Nice back here. We have a, sort of a pointillist depiction of Los Angeles at night. We call it Sunday in Griffith Park with George. And, you know, thought that would fly. Que serat, serat. Well... One thing we're going to do different here each night, we buy our studio audience their very own lottery ticket. If you win the lottery, you get to all split the prize. I think there are like 230 people here tonight. We are in the California Super Lotto, and the quick pick numbers are 12, 26, 29, 39, 44, 45. Reminds me of actress June Wilkinson. But, okay, blast from the past. But anyway, we'll keep you posted. If you win, we all divvy it up, and don't forget, I get a share. We have some opening night telegrams here I'd like to share with you. Some of our friends checking in. First off, we have, Dear Dennis, swing baby, but always work clean. Frank. I knew the big guy would be there for me. Dennis, break a leg. Hey, these are the first words I've written in 30 years. Feels good. Maybe I'll take it up again. J.D. Salinger. Thank you, J.D. Dennis, leaving SNL was a good move. Now things will really start happening for you. Charles Rocket. Thank you, Charles. Dear Dennis, cheers to you and your work on the program. We've always loved you in those beer commercials. Signed, the Kennedys. Wow. The Kennedys. Hey, Dennis, congratulations. Can I do your show? Joe Piscopo. All right. And, Dennis, congratulations. Nice to see someone else is working today, the state of Arizona. Thank you all for checking in. Tonight we're going to do our new feature, For and Against. Last week, scientists discovered 2 new planets outside the solar system, once again fueling the age-old argument about... Got a little combo from Star Wars kicked in over there. Once again, fueling the age-old argument about intelligent life in space. Tonight's For and Against feature is UFOs. I think you'll get the idea here. Just follow the bouncing premise. The case for UFOs, they instill a sense of wonder in an otherwise jaded populace. The case against, they don't exist. Be gentle, first night. The case for, UFOs often take simple folk into space. The case against, they bring them back. Well, you don't have to get sucky about it. The case for, aliens have mastered intergalactic travel and probably have huge craniums. The case against, we are annihilated as a race the first time someone yells, "Hey, Melonhead!" The case for, they might teach us new ways to communicate. The Case against, their language might involve kneeing us rhythmically in the genitals. It's a dialogue. The case for, their technology could help us feed our world. The case against, our plump, tasty bodies could help feed their world. The case for, aliens frequently visit me in the middle of the night and explore me with rectal probes. The case against, well, at least I think they're aliens. You know, nothing like a good rectal probe joke to get the audience involved. The case for, they're exciting to look at because you don't know what they are. The case against, so are transvestites. The case for, UFOs provide a funny, apolitical topic for party chat. The case against, when the subject is UFOs, the party is over. The case for, UFOs look really cool. The case against, I never get to see any because I'm happy with my life and don't spend all day hoping for a green four-eyed bleb from Zebulon 9 is coming to land on my carport and get me out of my marriage. So, that's the case for and against UFOs. Thank you. Now, what's your lottery number? You weren't even paying attention to me, were you? We'll be right back. We've got Tom Hanks and Bonnie Raitt and Christian Slater. We'll be right back with Tom after this. Now, my first guest has impressed everyone with his range in films like Splash, Punchline, Bonfire of the Vanities. He was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in Big. He is, of course, an actor. Please welcome Tom Hanks. They love you, babe.
I know that. I'm shaking like a leaf, pal. I
You're
don't
the
know
new
about
Jimmy
you.
Stewart. This country loves you.
Stop it. I'm just here loaded with self-serving patter to inaugurate this, your own talk show.
I appreciate
Dennis,
you. Appreciate you. You know, tough to get people to go first in this town, man. It's like fast dancing in a wedding reception. Nobody wants to get out there first. So. I appreciate you coming in.
It's an honor and a pleasure, and I guess the plaque goes where?
Right,
like Tom Hanks thing right there?
Beautiful. One small step
Nice
for
furniture,
showbiz.
too. I feel like I want to apply for a loan with you here.
And
it's witty banter here late night, huh?
I feel like I want to see some credentials for that loan. Now, you know, it surprises me that you'd be nervous at all because at Saturday Night Live, we always looked at you as like the cavalry. You always had, you did it 5 times when I was there,
well,
didn't you?
6 counting the reunion show.
Yeah. You were always the coolest cat there.
Oh, well,
huh?
that's high praise indeed, my friend.
Now, when did you learn to do it exactly? Did you have it knocked the first time?
The deal is, the first time you do the show, you can't imagine you're there, and you think, oh, look, there's where John Belushi did drugs.
And you can point almost anywhere.
Much everywhere.
You're like that.
It was the 70s, so. Then the second time you do the show, you can't believe they ask you back, so you're kind of cocky, and the show always goes pretty poorly that second time.
Yeah.
But the third time you do the show is really when you figure out how the show operates and how to pace yourself, and don't stay up late Monday and Tuesday nights eating bad food with the guys up on the 17th floor.
Going out with Lovitz.
You know, oh, well, I mean, you learn that actually the first show, but...
Now, didn't you have some weird moment with Keith Richards there, your third show in?
Yeah, the third show was Keith Richards was a musical guest when he was out with that band, the Expensive Wine.
Waddy Wachtel
and Steve Jordan and all those guys. And the host's dressing room was right next to the band's dressing room. So sooner or later, you know, Keith kind of wandered in. It's on. And he plops himself down, and we start chatting. You know, we were there for 45 minutes, and all the time I'm thinking, Keith Richards is sitting here. And eventually I was able to discern what it was he was saying.
You whipped out your Keith to English dictionary.
Got someone I was with a band, you know. A band.
Well, Keith, how, I mean, like, when you go into a studio, do you know what you're gonna, you have it, like, written down, what you're gonna do?
Yeah, Mick does, you know, that I was trying to make it work.
Beautiful. That was... Well, you know, they're getting up there, those boys. Billy Wyman stepped down this week. They ran a carbon-14 test on him, and it was time to go. And Jagger, I just saw him in the ad for Free Jack. And, boy, they're going to cut him in half and count the rings there, too. He is,
Count the rings.
Mick's getting up there.
How much does each ring represent, though? That's my question.
I like
30 rings, and I think each one is 5 years.
2.5 years,
yeah,
I believe.
like that. Or 3 tours, depending on the case.
Now, what you're doing, you just got back from doing a film in Indiana with Madonna,
Yes,
a baseball film?
I was in Evansville, Indiana, with Madonna and Gina Davis and Penny Marshall.
Now, I know Madonna
Paradise.
knows how to work a bottle. How is she with a bat? She good? Is she a good player?
She's an excellent player, and she's
What
a real
position?
go-getter.
No, I didn't even mean that. Come on, don't make me slap you.
Right up the middle there in center field.
She was the center fielder? The Say Hey Kid.
That's right. She just free roamed out there around around center field. She was very good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You guys shot it at Wrigley Field?
We were in Evansville, Indiana for the better part of 2 months, but prior to that, we were in Chicago, and we did shoot in Wrigley Field, yeah. Which was tough because, you know, this is really a funny story, Dennis.
Lead me into it,
Well,
Tommy.
I'll tell you. You know what's kooks? First of all, great town, Chicago. We were the...
It's a toddler's town.
It is, you know, it's great. Rush Street. There was another movie that shot in Wrigley Field before us, The Babe. Because I can't make movies unless there's 6 movies exactly like it before I actually go in front of the cameras. And evidently the crew and the cast from The Babe just ripped the field to ribbons. And Andre Dawson evidently got very upset about it. As a matter of fact, he even put up a stat on the broadcast afterwards, like, Cubs before films, so many fielding percentage errors and whatnot. Cubs after Babe and League of Their Own filming, 42 errors and whatnot. And they lost. I think we cost the Cubs a pennant, is saying.
Well, you know, Andre's got those bad knees. His knees are like...
Well, they wouldn't let us run on the grass.
No?
So we're shooting in Wrigley Field, baseball mecca for millions. And we get in there, and I've got my son and our gloves, and we're thinking, hey, get off the grass, hurry, hurry! These guys in those kind of like industrial uniforms that say something Servco on it or something like that.
So it's
The
a
guys
real
who always
field
run
of
this.
dream moments for you.
It was
I got to take a commercial. I'm bad at
Go,
this.
man.
I haven't learned yet. We got to take a commercial. We'll be right back with Tom Hanks.
This portion of the Dennis Miller Show is brought to you by Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
We're back with Tom Hanks. Yeah. You know, Tom, sometimes when you're not aware of my presence, I stand on the hillside as you visit Hooch's gravesite, and that special little pooch really got into your bloodstream, didn't he?
We killed the dog, man. The grand Disney tradition, the dog must die.
But that film knocked off like 80 mil, didn't it?
It did quite
That's
well.
560 dog mil. So I think Hoochie had some back end money on that, didn't he?
I think Hooch is looking for property in Montana right now.
Hey, now I hear you like the film Kennedy, or JFK. Did you dig that film?
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
I was. The reason is because it has all the mystery. I mean, you have the open window, you have the mystery gunman, you have the man who single-handedly turned a desert into a gambling mecca. I'm sorry, did you say JFK?
You know,
I'm sorry, I just completely...
and I'm so blank with fear that it's my first show. I'm thinking, that sounds like Bugsy, but I wasn't even going to say anything.
That's my mistake. I'm sorry. I got seen a lot of movies, man.
Yeah.
JFK was he the nanny who came in and did the thing with his? I'm sorry. I've seen a lot. I've been on a tear as far as movies go. I've been seeing 2 a week. So.
Yeah. Well, now, did you see Oliver Stone with Sam Donaldson? Donaldson jumped him.
On recently, just
Yeah.
like last Thursday, yeah, kind of hung him out to dry there.
Yeah.
Like, would you walk into an interview with Sam Donaldson?
Well, I think Donaldson was just cranky because there's a theory there was a second gunman behind his toupee, and I think that's why I was.
I haven't
thinking.
seen hair that bad since Pete Rose, I guess.
Yeah,
Walter Mondale, like Walter Mondale had better hair than Sam Donaldson.
Sammy's got that
tough.
young Vulcan with a dream thing going there. Hey,
Yeah, I want to say, hey, Sam, didn't you die in the two-parter that Spock appeared on at the middle of?
Captain Pike.
Wasn't that you?
Yeah, he's got that little inlet there. It looked like where Elvis got married in Blue Hawaii.
Looks like Sarek, you know. Aren't you married to Father Knows Best's wife or something like that? Help us before we sub-reference again.
referencing
Yes.
Yeah.
A line from you. Yeah.
Now, what's up with Chet the Jet, your young boy,
My young man.
How is he?
He's very good. 17 months old, and
Beautiful.
my older kids are well as well. Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna slag on my
I find
kid.
it hard to believe you have
know,
old kids.
if your nose was just a little thing, and
How old's
we
your...
gotta get you a haircut too, honey. Why are you dressing him like this? Oh, he's a beautiful, adorable little baby. What am I gonna say?
And you're living up in Xanadu now? I hear you built a place, and it was like Charles
Yes,
Foster Kane.
I decided.
there.
Yes, in Xanadu, did I decree a stately pleasure dome or something like that? Yeah. What is that? What is that quote at the beginning of the thing?
I don't know. I thought that
Citizen
was a
Kane.
Quicksilver Messenger Service lyric you were doing there. So
Have a beautiful day. What happened? Traffic. What happened to the really good bands of the,
I think
60s?
Mountain's getting
I
back
never
together
listened-
to come
I
on
never
this
li-
show.
My brother
Huh?
listened to that stuff. I never listened to those bands.
No?
He'd put on Blue Cheer, and
Summertime
I'd go watch
Blues, right?
Ultraman on UHF television. For
Yeah,
the
did you
first
see
time.
that fight in the Japanese Congress they had a few weeks ago?
What- no, what was it?
Fist fight broke out in the Japanese Congress, right on the floor. The senators duking each other. Evidently, some of the guys thought Ultraman was a good guy, and
You know, the Japanese as a people are going to have to wrestle with that question before they can...
at least the bigger ones will. You know what I finally saw? I saw Cirque du Soleil, and you had always told me,
Oh, yeah, that's-
I always admire your opinion about things, and you told me that was some of the most beautiful theater you had seen. And
I
I
said
loved
that,
that
didn't
scene
I?
at
Yeah.
the end. But I know I finally saw
Well,
what
you
you
saw
mean.
the thing on TV?
No, I went to
You
see
saw
them
actually
in
the
New
video,
York. Yeah,
yes.
it was great. wasn't it?
Did you see the recent one? The
Yeah,
most-
where the guy metamorphosed.
The clown...
at the end.
yes, David
I don't wanna
Shiner,
blow
an
it for you.
amazing performer. David.
But it was great.
Yeah.
And
It's cool. I'm always open to all that kind of stimuli.
Well, you know, I want to thank you for coming on. Like I said, I felt like Vic Morrow trying to get somebody to take the point in combat, and you were right there for me, brother. I
Anytime,
appreciate it, Tommy.
anytime,
Tom
anytime.
Hanks, folks. Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
If you're going to be in Los Angeles and would like to attend a taping of the Dennis Miller Show, please drop us a note. Care of the Dennis Miller Show, Post Office Box 8160, Universal City, California 91608.
Juice. How far will I go to get it? And she never won a Grammy. My next guest would still be someone very special to have on my first show. The fact that she's won 4 Grammys and 2 years ago, and she's now nominated for 5 more this year only means that the world has caught up. A little late, I might add. Singing I Can't Make You Love Me off her new album. Here's Bonnie Raitt.